Peace in the Middle East has been a subject of debate since the establishment of the State of Israel. The question is peace actually possible? Today, we're going to dive into how every single effort for peace has failed so far and what I think is the only solution for peace here in the Middle East. And the answer might just surprise you. Let's get into it. I'm Justin Hilton, and this is the Israel Guys. Following the First Intifada, there was a significant push for peace that sort of reshaped the political landscape here in Israel. In 1993, the Oslo Accords were signed, introducing a new framework for the region. And this peace agreement, it basically divided Judea and Samaria, what the world likes to call the West Bank, into three distinct areas. Those areas being A, B, and C. Hailed as a historic breakthrough, the Accords were presented as a pathway to peace. However, as we've seen over the past 30 years, this so-called solution has not led to lasting peace at all and has instead led to an increase in terrorism here in Judea and Samaria. While terrorism and violence, it did slow down a little bit after the signing of the Oslo Accords, this period of relative calm was short-lived. In 2000, tensions were reignited when Ariel Sharon visited the Temple Mount, triggering another wave of violence. Yes, you heard that right. All he did was visit the Temple Mount, and it sparked another wave of violence. So it really just shows how spiritual this conflict actually is. In response, Israel's leaders tried to apply the same strategy from the 1990s, despite the fact that every single time they had tried to give away land for peace before had failed miserably to actually bring about lasting peace. In 2005, they took it to the extreme. Israel implemented the Gaza disengagement plan. They forcibly evacuated over 9,000 Jews from their homes and dismantled 25 Jewish communities in Gaza and parts of the West Bank. Looking back, we know that Israel's withdrawal from Gaza directly contributed to the escalating violence and terrorism. Because what did the Palestinians do with the newly acquired land that they were given? They ripped up all of the greenhouses. Since they took it over, they've fired tens of thousands of rockets at Israel, and all of this ultimately led up and culminated in the horrific attack of October 7th. Fast forward to October 7th. For a few short weeks after the horrific attack, most of the world seemed to be on Israel's side almost. They were even pushing for Israel to finish off Hamas, but that didn't last long at all. Soon the cries for a ceasefire were ringing out far and wide, from governments around the world to stupid college kids on campuses across America. While many ceasefires have been attempted during this war, most of them failing, right now a fragile new ceasefire is in place. As part of this agreement, and at the time of recording this show, 19 Israeli hostages have been released in exchange for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners, most of whom are convicted murderers and terrorists, which is absolutely insane and outrageous. Haven't we learned our lesson yet with these so-called prisoner exchanges? Have we already forgotten how Yahya Sinwar, originally sentenced to 4 life terms, he was released in the swap, only to later orchestrate the October 7th massacre? Additionally, Hamas has repeatedly violated every single ceasefire agreement, making future negotiations extremely difficult. In fact, Hamas continued launching rockets into southern Israel right up until the hour that this latest ceasefire went into effect. This recurring pattern raises a real question in my mind, and I hope it should in yours as well. Is peace in the Middle East truly possible? We'll be right back with the rest of the show in just 1 second. But first, with the challenges Israel is facing, I want to share with you a way you can strengthen Jewish families on the front lines of the battle for the land. Blessed by Israel is a company that brings the amazing products of families in the biblical heartland to people around the world. From Israel to your doorstep, enjoy awesome products like coffee roasted to perfection by Agro Cafe, which, by the way, I drink every day here in the office. Several kinds of delicious honey, jewelry, organic spices, and much, much more. All from wonderful, small, family-owned businesses here in Israel's biblical heartland. Be a part of encouraging and investing in the people of Israel and enjoy high quality products at the same time. Head over to blessedbyisrael.com to purchase beautiful boutique products and make your impact today. Use the code INVEST for $5 off your first order at blessedbyisrael.com or just click the link in the description below. Peace in the Middle East. This phrase became closely associated with President George W. Bush's administration, which sought for a resolution by advocating for a Palestinian state. Bush believed that a two-state solution where Israelis and Palestinians would coexist as separate nations would lead to lasting security. But as we now know, he couldn't have been more wrong. Every single time Israel's concessions of land for peace have actually failed to produce any kind of lasting peace. If President Bush had foreseen the consequences, he might have realized that such efforts often embolden and strengthen the terror groups rather than deter them, a reality that was unfortunately made very tragically clear on October 7th. While this history might make peace seem unattainable, impossible, the actual solution might just be the opposite of what many people in the world are pushing for. I believe the only viable path to peace between Israelis and Palestinians is for Israel to be fully recognized as a whole, sovereign, secure nation, both within the Middle East, within the Arab world, and on the global stage. And part of making that whole, sovereign, secure nation is Israel's right to eliminate the entire terrorist group of Hamas from the Gaza Strip and any other terrorists here within their borders. History has demonstrated that Israel giving up land has never brought about peace at all. Those who genuinely seek peace in the Middle East must support Israel's sovereignty in the entirety of their God-given land. God gave this land to Israel. Israel not only doesn't have the right to give it away, but doing so always, and I mean always, leads to more violence and to more terrorism. That's it for today, guys. Don't forget to buy products from Blessed by Israel and get $5 off with your first order with our special coupon code INVEST. Link is in the description below. Guys, we're covering all the events here in Israel, in the Middle East, so make sure and get subscribed. Also, get the conversation going down in the comments section below. As always, stop listening to the lies and propaganda. Connect with the truth of what is happening here in Israel. We'll be back soon here at the Israel Guys. Catch you in the next one.